Are you looking at trying to get into cybersecurity? Maybe it's a career change. Maybe you're working to transition from a current tech role into cybersecurity. Whatever the case may be, this video is going to give you all you need to know in order to register to take and pass the ISC² Certified in Cybersecurity certification and kickstart your career in cybersecurity. If you're serious about cybersecurity and want to get a head start in the game and hopefully land your first cybersecurity role, then this video is for you. The Certified in Cybersecurity from ISC² is a certification exam that is currently free. It's an entry-level cybersecurity exam. You can register to take the self-paced training for free. And you can also, once you've taken the training, register for the certification exam for free as well. And providing you've studied and gone through all the content and listened to me throughout this video and everything I'm going to tell you and where to go in order to get the most out of your studies, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to pass that exam and kickstart your career in cybersecurity today. So if you're serious about getting into cybersecurity, then let's sit back, relax, and get ready for me to break down everything you need to know about the ISC² Certified in Cybersecurity certification. So if you're not already aware, in the cybersecurity industry, there is a global, and when I say global, I mean the entire world, there is a shortage of trained and skilled cybersecurity professionals. In fact, recently, the Department for Science, Innovation and Technology, DSIT, in the UK conducted research into the current state of the UK cybersecurity labour market, and they found that over 700,000 businesses don't have the skills or can't get the skills for basic cybersecurity. According to DSIT, in fact, in 2022, there was over 160,000 job postings in the UK alone for cybersecurity roles. That's crazy. In this current economic climate, to have that many jobs as well in one sector is wild. And it's because we just don't have enough people skilled enough to take on those roles. And when we look at the statistics in the US, at a similar time back in 2022, there was actually over 720,000 job postings alone just in the US, and that's data according to CyberSeek. So you can see just by covering those two locations how many roles there is available right now in cybersecurity. And because there's so many roles available and because they just can't be filled, organizations are actually offering premiums on salaries and bonuses and everything else just to attract the right people and get somebody in that's capable of delivering and doing the job. So if you're looking at a career in cybersecurity, if you're looking at a way to get into cybersecurity, then this might just be the video for you. So why is any of this relevant? Well, if you're watching this video, then I'm assuming that you are currently exploring a future career in cybersecurity and want to know more about the ISC² CC or Certified in Cybersecurity certification. Now, if my assumption's right, then that's great because you're in the right place. Because like I said, I'm going to give you everything you need to know about the ISC² Certified in Cybersecurity certification for you to be able to go out there and hopefully achieve that certification and land your first role in a cybersecurity position. Now, just with a quick disclaimer, the information that I'm providing you in this video is intended for informational purposes only and does not in any way guarantee that you will pass the certification, at least on the first time, or secure a job. So I think the best way to go through this and tackle this is to provide you with answers to the most commonly asked questions to the ISC² Certified in Cybersecurity certification. However, before I do get into those questions, you may be asking yourself, well, why am I actually listening to this guy, me, Network Wizkid? So let me start by introducing myself. So my name is Kelvin, and I'm a cybersecurity professional already in the industry for many years. I'm from the UK, if you've already not guessed by my accent, and I work for one of the biggest tech organizations in the world. I have a bachelor's in computer networks and system support, and I also have a master's degree in cybersecurity, and I also have many different certifications. One of those is actually the ISC² Certified in Cybersecurity as well. I've already shared a video which is quite popular already on how to pass the ISC² Certified in Cybersecurity, and I will post that link in the description. So if you are interested in that, please do go and watch that, and I really do urge you to go and watch that if you are looking at taking this exam. And I've already seen firsthand that the information provided in that video has also helped people pass this exam. So the information that I've put on that video is not just me sharing information as to what I think is relevant to pass the exam based on books and based on the internet. I've actually been out there and sat that exam so that I could actually provide the audience with the information on how best I feel you should prepare to pass the exam. So hopefully you trust me a little bit more, and you will take the information that I'm going to provide to you right now in this video and put it to good use, because it really is going to give you everything you need to know in order to kickstart your cybersecurity journey and go out there and take this certification while you can, currently for free. So without further ado, now that you're ready to listen to the man with the Pokemon hat on, let's get into the most frequently asked questions. And these questions have been compiled from what I've come across on the internet, whether that be LinkedIn, Twitter, whether that's been comments posted directly to me, or also on my YouTube content with regards to this certification, or whether it be on my website as well. So I've compiled a big list of questions that are relevant to everybody that is looking at taking this certification exam. So the first question may be, you've just started to explore this certification, you're on the internet looking for more information, and you're wondering why the ISC² as an organization are offering a free cybersecurity certification. What's the catch? Well, there is no catch. Quite simply put, the ISC² is a well-known organization, and they are dedicated to helping close the cybersecurity workforce gap. And to do so, they've pledged to help 1 million people become certified in cybersecurity for free with their entry-level certification. And that certification is the certification we're talking about now. So that's the ISC² Certified in Cybersecurity. And you might see that named or abbreviated as CC. So ISC² or ISC2 CC. It's the same certification. So that's the pledge that ISC² have committed to, and that's what they're delivering on. It's worth pointing out though, and this is an important point, that this is not an offer that's going to last forever. This is a limited time offer. As I said, they're pledging to get 1 million people certified in cybersecurity with their certification. So once that 1 million target is hit, the assumption is that they will go back down to charging for the training content as well as the certification exam as well. So if you are really serious about getting into cybersecurity and you're really serious about trying to take this exam and to pass this exam to get the certification, then there has never been a better time than now, because this pledge has been running since the back end of 2022. And I do know, and I have seen online, there is quite a few people now getting certified with this certification. So as I said, there is never a better time now. If you are committed and you really want to get into cybersecurity, whether you're in tech already or not, this is the time to do it. Now you might be thinking, well, I have absolutely zero experience or knowledge in cybersecurity whatsoever. Is this certification something for me? Well, first off, let me start by saying every professional in the industry on every field started off as a beginner once with absolutely no experience. The good thing about this certification is it's been designed and developed for individuals with zero experience in cybersecurity. So absolutely, if you have zero experience in cybersecurity and coming into this with a fresh pair of eyes, that's absolutely fine. The training, the self-paced training, has been developed so that individuals like yourself with zero experience can pick the content up, hopefully learn everything that you need to learn in order to pass and achieve that certification as well. So don't let the point that you have zero experience deter you from trying to go ahead and take this certification exam. Now, with a slight caveat, as I said a little bit earlier on, I actually took this exam so that I could deliver content like this and give you a true, honest opinion of what I actually feel like you need in order to pass the exam. As a cybersecurity professional already, I thought it would be a good idea to take this entry-level cybersecurity certification just to see how difficult I might have found it and relate to those that may be coming into the industry with either little or zero knowledge in cybersecurity and how they would find it. So what I've done is I've put together a video of how I passed the Certified in Cybersecurity certification along with my recommendations. So I do urge you to go ahead and watch that video, because although you do get the self-paced training that you can go through, in my opinion, for somebody coming into the industry with little to no knowledge of some of the concepts, you may find it a little bit difficult to pass the exam the first time. But like I said, not to worry, because I have listed or recommended some additional content that will hopefully help you delve a little bit deeper into some of the topics that are covered on the exam for you to feel comfortable with what it is you're studying, for you to be able to go and take that exam and hopefully pass that exam. So again, that link will be in the description, so do make sure that you check that out. And if you've got any further comments or unsure about anything, just feel free to leave a comment and I will get back to you. So the next question is the ISC² Certified in Cybersecurity certification worth the time and effort? Now, I've seen this a few times online, people questioning whether it's a certification that's going to be feasible enough to be able to hopefully land an entry-level role in cybersecurity, or whether it's just a certification that's not really worth the paper it's written on. So let me give my 2 cents and share with you my thoughts around this. So first off, anything that provides you with new knowledge, additional knowledge, and more knowledge than you had before, then that is worth it in itself, especially when it's free. You know, as I've said already, the exam is free and the self-paced training is free as well. And it's not like the self-paced training is, you know, a couple of sentences or a couple of paragraphs and that's it. The training is quite in-depth and very useful training as well. Now, ISC² as an organization is a well-known cybersecurity focused organization. Specifically, they have one of the most well-renowned, well-known certifications in the industry, cybersecurity focused certifications in the industry today, and that is the CISSP, or Certified Information System Security Professional certification, which is very sought after in the industry as well. So these guys know what they're talking about, and the people that put the content together know what they're talking about as well. So if that's anything to go by, then rest assured you know that you are getting good content. And secondly, if you are embarking on a cybersecurity journey, a career in cybersecurity, then where better to start than with ISC², who have one of the most popular, if you like, certifications, the CISSP, the most sought after certification, or one of them in the industry today. It's the perfect place to start, because you can start from the entry-level certification, which is the one that we're talking about now, the ISC² Certified in Cybersecurity, and then you can work your way up to eventually that CISSP as well. So to me, there is no better place really to start if you are embarking on a cybersecurity journey. As I said, the exam is free, the training's free, so there is practically no risk. All it requires is your time and effort, really. So if you are new to the field of cybersecurity, then this is a perfect opportunity to get a feel, a little bit of a taste for what it's like, and really see whether it's something for you. See whether it's something you feel as though you could continue to understand and go out there and get a job in the industry and make a career out of it as well. Like I said, it's risk-free. All it requires is your time and effort. So to me, it's a no-brainer. And as I've already said, the certification can help you land your first entry-level cybersecurity role. So if you are serious about getting into cybersecurity, and the figures we've already discussed with the global skills shortage around the world, then I'm pretty sure with this certification and some maybe additional training on top, if you really wanted to go for it to make yourself even more lucrative and set yourself apart from everybody else, I could not see why you can't land yourself a job in this industry once you start to pick up these certifications as well. So maybe you've come here because you don't really understand where to get started. You've heard about a free cybersecurity certification, the ISC² Certified in Cybersecurity, but you don't know where to get started. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to access the self-paced training. You don't even know where to register. Well, fear not, because I'm going to give you that information right now. So the first thing you need to do is you need to create an account with ISC². Once you've done that, you will then complete a ISC² candidate application form. And then once you've done that, you will select then the Certified in Cybersecurity certification, or the CC of certification of interest. Once you've done that, then you will get access to the Certified in Cybersecurity self-paced training. And then once you've done that, you will get the exam voucher, which we'll discuss a little bit later on, to which you need to then register on another website to actually take the exam as well. So it's very straightforward. I will include these steps in my description as to where you need to go and what links you need to click on. So don't worry about if you're still listening to me now and you still don't have a clue what I'm talking about as well. I will share that information in the video description. So the next question might be, well, where do I find the exam voucher? Or you've maybe finished the self-paced training and you still don't know where to find the exam voucher. So where is this? Well, once you've been through the self-paced training and you've completed the sections, reviewed the questions and answers, etc., and you feel ready to book the exam, head over to the candidates benefit page on the ISC² website, and I will post this link in the description as well. Register to take the exam at a Pearson VUE on their website. And then once you've done that, you will get to checkout where you'll have the exam and you'll have the cost of the exam. Once you've done that, enter the exam code that you've got on the candidate benefit page. And then you will see that price of the exam change from what it is to 0. And that's your free attempt at the exam. So that's great. So now we've been through the training, we've registered or thinking about registering for the exam. We know more about the Certified in Cybersecurity. Now, where do I actually take this exam? Can I take the exam online? And to answer that, it's a simple no. So the ISC² Certified in Cybersecurity exam is a proctored exam, which means you will need to visit a test center, an authorized testing center, whereby you will sit in front of a machine in a quiet room. And for those that have not done this before, I'm explaining it in basic terms. You will sit in a room with maybe a few other computers that are sectioned off, and you will sit that exam in silence. So as I said, you will need to visit a authorized testing center, to take that exam. And when you actually go through the process of booking the exam, you will have to specify a location as to where you want to sit that exam as well. Now, for those that have not done this and been through the process of going to take proctored exams, the process can be a little bit daunting, actually sitting there, registering, going in for the exam, because depending on the exam you're taking, you know, they may be required to take fingerprints, palm scans, iris scans maybe, give your ID. There's a lot that goes into the process. So, and when you've never done it before, when you've never actually taken one of these exams before, actually just going into the testing center can be a little bit daunting, especially when it's something that you work so hard for and you really want to pass. I remember my first time going to take a proctored exam. It was actually a brocade exam, and that's a vendor exam. Way back maybe 7-8 years ago now. And when I first went into the test center and went through the process, I was shaking. I was so nervous. And it was because I really wanted to pass the exam, and I'd never been through the process before, and I didn't really know how to control my nerves, and I didn't know what the process was. And yeah, it was quite scary. So for anybody that's doing that for the first time, I totally get it and understand. The information that I'm giving you today hopefully will ease your nerves a little bit, and the information that I'm providing in the links with the additional training that I recommend will hopefully give you that extra bit of confidence to be able to walk into those testing centers with a little bit more understanding and maybe a little bit less nervy as well, because it's not a nice feeling. And because you are maybe taking advantage of the free self-paced training and the free exam voucher, you only get the one shot. So I know how much some people really want this, and passing the first time means everything, especially if you don't have the funds to do it again as well. Now, the exam is 2 hours long. There's a maximum of 100 questions as well. Now, it may seem like a lot for some, it may not seem like a lot for some. What I would say is take your time with each question, but just know that once you have selected your question, your answer to the question, and some of these questions, by the way, are multiple choice. Once you've selected your answer and moved on to the next question, you cannot go back to the previous question, and you cannot flag a question to come back to it at the end. So what I would say is just maybe take a few more seconds thinking about the question before you answer it, and maybe think about going through a process of elimination based on your studies and what you understand in order to answer the question, if you're not entirely sure 100% what the answer is as well. Once you finish the exam, the computer screen will just turn off essentially, and that will mean your exam's over. Hopefully you've managed to get through the 100 questions in the allotted 2 hour time. If you don't get through it in the 2 hours time, once the 2 hours time runs out, it will just stop your exam on the question that you was on, and maybe you have enough to pass. It's highly likely if you do not finish in the allotted time that you probably will not have passed the exam. So do try to get through all the questions in the 2 hours time, and remember you cannot go back once you press next. So once you finish the exam, the screen's going to go black. That means your exam's finished, and you can stand up and you can walk outside from the test area. And then what you will do is you'll collect your belongings, your phone and keys and whatever else you may have, and what you've put into a locker before you go into the exam, because you need to take everything off, your watches, you can't take any phones in there, things like that. You'll collect that, and then you'll go back to the counter where you registered and showed your ID, etc. And the receptionist will give you a piece of paper. Now, that piece of paper is likely going to be folded. And once you unfold that, that's going to give you information on there as to whether you have passed the exam or whether you've failed the exam as well. If you pass, great, well done. We'll speak about the next step shortly. If you failed, then not to worry, because we can work on getting you a pass the next time round, and we'll touch on that as well a little bit in the next few questions as well. So first, let's just take a few minutes to understand what's on the exam, because this is a question that I have seen coming from a few people, and they're looking at this free certification and that's just about it. They're not looking at exactly what's required, what information or topics are covered in there as well. And it's important to understand what it is that you're going to be covering and essentially what the exam's going to focus on. So there's 5 domains or areas of focus. ISC² call them domains. These domains range from security principles, business continuity, disaster recovery and incident response, access control concepts, network security, and as well security operations. So there's different weightings in terms of how likely the questions related to those domains are going to be on the exam. And again, I've already covered this in previous content, so I will put a link in the description about this specific area so you can go back, have a look at the content that I created around this. And I also have available the PDF document that ISC² have produced, which actually break down each domain in percentage to what you would be expected to cover or hopefully understand and get ready to answer on the exam. Obviously, you need to understand each of the domains, but there is slightly heavier weightings on some of the domains over the others as well. So I've also had many people ask me whether there is additional content or extra materials that could really help give them a boost aside from the self-paced training to help them maybe understand better some of the concepts, or just maybe give them a little bit more confidence when they go and take this exam. Now, starting off with ISC² and what they offer, there's actually 3 different bundle offerings that many people don't know when it comes to this certification. Because the promotion is currently focused on the self-paced training and the free exam voucher, which are both free, many people just opt for that because it's a win-win, it's risk-free essentially. But if you are really serious about this certification and you maybe want to have another opportunity of potentially taking the certification exam if you don't manage to pass it the first time, then ISC² actually have some other bundles that you might find useful. So aside from the one that we've already discussed with the free self-paced training and the free certification exam, where you have one opportunity to take the exam, the next bundle that ISC² have is the self-paced learning and the exam. But with this bundle, you actually get 2 opportunities to pass the exam rather than 1. And the only real difference, as I said, is you will get an extra opportunity to take the exam again if you don't manage to pass it the first time. So it really gives you a little bit of a safety net if you maybe are worrying about the first attempt, or maybe want to get a feel for the exam the first time round, not really worrying whether you pass or not, obviously hoping to pass the first time, but with that second attempt in mind if you don't manage to pass it the first time as well. Now, the last bundle that they have, and this is a paid bundle as well, is the ISC² live online training. And you also get everything in the last bundle that I spoke about. So you still get the self-paced training, and you also get the free 2 attempts at the exam as well. So I would urge you to take a look at those options on the ISC² website, see if any of them fit for you. If you do want the opportunity to take the exam again, as I said, it's pretty much a safety net. Outside of that, I recommend taking a look at some additional books and additional material. Some of that material I have put together. As I said, I've got a video in the link in the description. So your next question might be, well, what if I fail the exam the first time? And I've already alluded to this, and it really depends on the bundles you take, as we've just spoke about. So with the free self-paced training and the free exam attempt, you have one opportunity to pass this exam. If you don't pass it the first time, then you will have to pay to take the exam the second time round, unless of course you have one of the bundles where you can actually take the exam the second time round for free, or at least for the price you paid for the bundle. So if you are focusing on just making use of the free self-paced training and the free exam voucher, then do look at the additional content, because it's really going to allow you to further understand some of the concepts in greater detail and put you in a better footing to take that exam. So all the exam and training aside, let's say for instance you've passed that exam, and you may now be wondering, well, what job roles can I be looking at once I've passed and got certified in cybersecurity with this certification? Now, one thing you might not know about the cybersecurity industry, or just the tech industry in general, is just how vast the industry really is, and how many job roles actually exist within the industry as a whole. You can literally take your career in any direction once you've got the fundamentals down and you're in the industry, and continue to progress and learn. But here are a few entry-level jobs that you could potentially be looking at once you have become certified in cybersecurity. So some of these roles will be dependent on location, but more than likely they are going to be entry-level positions with the room to progress as you grow and develop as well. So some of these roles are security analyst, industrial controls analyst, risk analyst, incident responder, forensic specialist, junior penetration tester, security engineer, IT auditor, IT security manager, systems administrator. Now that list is not limited. There is different roles that are out there as well, but these are just some of the roles that ISC² have actually listed as potential jobs once you become certified in cybersecurity and you continue to develop in moving into the industry. Now, we've been talking about free. Everything's free, risk-free, don't need to pay for the exam, don't need to pay for the self-paced training. One thing I wanted to point out, because a few people have come back in previous videos and said, well, the exam's not free, or we do have to pay for X, Y, and Z. Let me just clarify exactly what you have to pay for, because there is a slight cost involved, and the cost is a common occurrence across many certification providers as well. And you'll understand as you get into the industry that there is often maintenance fees that are involved with many certifications and maintaining certifications as well. Some providers have maintenance fees, some certification providers don't have maintenance fees. ISC² do have a maintenance fee for certifications. Now, the self-paced training, as I said, is free for 180 days. You will have access to that content. You can go over it as many times as you want within that time. The exam, if you are going for the risk-free option, which is the free one attempt at the exam, again, that is free. But when you pass that exam and you become an ISC² member, there is a maintenance fee involved with that certification, and that is $50. So I've had people say to me, well, the certification's not free, you do have to pay. And to clarify, the certification exam, at least for the first attempt and the second attempt if you buy the bundles, is free, or you get 2 attempts for the price you pay, or you get that first attempt if you don't want to pay anything. So that is free. What is not free is the maintenance fee, which you have to pay with ISC². So any certification you get with ISC², there is a maintenance fee involved. With this certification, the maintenance fee is $50 annually as well. So if you pass the certification exam, before you actually can be certified, you actually need to pay the $50 annual maintenance fee first before you effectively have your certification released as well. Now, the reason I think there's been some confusion here is because, as far as I remember, when ISC² first released the Certified in Cybersecurity certification and announced the pledge to certify 1 million people with this certification, I believe up until the end of 2022, the maintenance fee for the first year was waived. So I think there's been some confusion because there's been people obviously passing the exam before the end of 2022, and now we're in 2023 and people are going through all this work and content and passing the exam, then realizing they can't get certified until they pay $50, which is the maintenance fee associated with ISC². But if you're serious about the certification and you're serious about your journey in cybersecurity, then, it's something that is worth paying. And as you actually progress in the industry, get a job with a company, etc., the likelihood of your organization paying for your certifications and paying to maintain those certifications is highly likely as well. So it's not like in most cases you're going to be responsible for maintaining certification fees across the board for however many providers you decide to certify with, because organizations will often pick that expense up for you as well. So what's next? So now you're certified, you've paid the annual maintenance fee, you've done all the certification, and you feel ready to move on to the next step. So what is the next step? So a few options could be to obviously land your first role in cybersecurity if you're already not working in cybersecurity. I would also recommend keep investing in yourself. Don't just stop there. Whether you have a job or have managed to attain a job in cybersecurity off the back of this certification, continue to develop yourself with other certifications, with ISC² or with other vendors, maybe like Cisco, if you maybe want to understand some more fundamental networking concepts, which is very valuable. Maybe you want to look at the CCNA certification, or maybe you want to go down the penetration testing route and maybe want to look at some other more pen test related certifications, etc. What I'm trying to get at is that it's important when you're in this industry to continue self-development, because that's the way you're going to progress in the industry and stay up to date with the latest and greatest as well. Network with others in a similar position to you. And you can do that by joining LinkedIn if you're not already in there, and adding connections on there, reaching out to people online, maybe on social platforms such as Twitter, Facebook. You can also join my Discord channel, where there is a bunch of people in there that have either worked towards a Certified in Cybersecurity certification or other certifications as well. You can also reach out to people like me, add me on LinkedIn, you can speak to me in Discord or a lot across my social media platforms as well. People that are already in the industry are more than happy in most cases to communicate and provide direction to those that are entering the industry as well. So don't feel like you cannot reach out to people like me with a little bit more experience in the industry. If you're wondering where to go next or what certification may be beneficial if you're looking at a specific area as well, it's more than likely people like me will be more than happy to respond and give you a little bit of advice or information on where to go next as well. So don't feel like you can't do that. Now, once you've got the certification, and this is something I must stress with all certifications out there, is you need to maintain those certifications. So your certification will be valid for 3 years, and you need to maintain this certification with something called continuing professional education, or CPEs. Now, over the 3 years, you will need to accumulate 45 CPEs in total to renew that certification and to keep that certification. So on top of paying that annual maintenance fee of $50, You also need the CPEs to keep your certification up to date. If you don't do that, then your certification will expire and you will no longer be certified as well. And this goes back to what I was saying a little bit earlier with continuing your development, because things change quite quickly in the tech industry. And one of the ways to stay up to date with what's going on is to keep renewing your certifications so that you're up to date with the latest and greatest, and you can show that to organizations and employees and whoever else that may be interested in understanding what certifications you've got and your potential skill level out there as well. So if you want to know more about CPEs, do head over to the ISC² website. There's a wealth of information on there, so I'm not going to waste my time or your time on here covering that in this particular video, but I just wanted to make that clear that it's not just a case of passing the certification once. You do need to maintain that certification as well. Now, ISC² on their website as well, they also have a frequently asked questions section where you can actually go, and they've got some more questions aside from the ones that I have accumulated and provided you answers to on here today. So I do advise, if you do have more questions, to go over there first and to see whether those questions that you may have been answered by ISC². And if they haven't, then feel free to ask the questions in the comments section or reach out on social media, and I will do my best to answer those questions for you as well. So I hope you found that useful. That's an accumulation of a lot of the questions that I've put together based on the information that I've been given and the questions that have been asked to me, and the questions that I've also seen coming up a lot online as well. And I really wanted to get this video out there to just give you one spot where you can actually get the answers to all that information as well. And as I say, there is going to be links in the description to the additional content that I do recommend going over that I've created as well, that will give you the best chance of passing this exam the first time as well. So do make sure you check out the links in the description as well. Not to forget, as I mentioned at the start as well, there needs to be a sense of urgency with this certification if you are really serious about getting this certification. And that's because the pledge is to certify 1 million people with this certification, with this particular offer. And as I said, this certification has been going since the back end of 2022. So, and there is a few people getting certified now. So don't waste your time. Get started today. There's no time like the present to get started. I will also include my link to the Discord channel. Feel free to join that and ask some questions in there. There is people in there that have passed the certification, like myself, in there as well. If you got any questions, you can also use that to ask those questions as well. Please do like this video. Please do subscribe if you found this content useful, and keep in touch with me. Let me know if you've used my content to pass the certified in cybersecurity. Let me know your thoughts around the exam, if you've done the exam and passed or even failed. And lastly, get started. Get started now. There is no better time to get started with this certification. I've just give you all the answers to the most frequently asked questions that I've seen and come across. I have the information out there on my YouTube channel in the description with everything you need to give you the best chance of passing this certification today. So you should have everything you need to get going right now. Keep in touch and let me know how you do.